Welcome to New Friends Cinema,
where we get to know each other by sharing our favorite movies.
From childhood throwbacks to recent comforts, we walk through the stories together.
Keep in mind this podcast contains mad spoilers, and join us
At the New Friends Cinema.
Hello, and welcome back to New Friends Cinema. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Dakota.
I didn't mean to, man.
You
was
got
saying
this before we started.
tickle.
I swallowed my water weird this morning, and I've been coughing ever since.
I'm just imagining like a cartoon, like Magic School Bus version of like all these little bubbles, like clogging up your throat.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's how I see the world through Miss Frizzle's eyes.
How are you?
I'm good. Today was chill. Actually, no, it was quite busy this morning.
It's also 1 p.m., so it's not like...
Oh my God, it is
Today
quarter after 1.
was...
Yeah, today was. So I had a quick little massage, and that was nice because my neck was given
Crunchy
and stiff, where you can't like look one way. So my girl Heidi went at it today.
I need that in my, like, shoulders. I'm finding all my desk work. It's like,
Yes.
Did you just hear that?
You crack a lack.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, my shoulders and neck are like,
Yeah.
crunchy.
The sitting disease,
Yeah.
right? And my lower back. Like, it's remarkable how much sitting destroys your body. And I know this is like a couple of 30-year-olds chatting about their desk work, but for real, it hurts to be. Oh my goodness. And I watched the movie this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cutting it down to the line. But I wanted it to be fresh because I'm not doing hand notes today. I'm only got the banana.
Nice.
Just the banana and my fresh feedback.
It's pretty short. It's only an hour and a half. Right?
Yes, it was
Which is
hour 19 when the credits went off.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Solid movie.
Yeah.
Shall we do this?
Should we just get into it?
Just get into it.
Let's just get into it. Okay. This week we're doing 2002 live action Scooby Doo.
A classic.
It's like Scooby Doo is such an age-old and beloved franchise, and this being the first live action that they made, I just felt like it held on to the vibe, like the authenticity, like what Scooby Doo is. Like,
Yes.
this movie didn't sell it down the river. Like, it held on to what it's about. I thought the casting was perfect.
All-time supreme perfection.
I actually did not. I didn't even like.
I think we could do it off by heart.
I think so. I just I didn't even look up who that director is.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't say that for super bad, but this
You
movie.
did.
I did? Oh, the director now?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
fuck.
did.
I am living in a fever dream of. I'm on vacation, so every day is a single day.
You're like assuming. I half-assed that.
I did a little bit of research. But this movie is the pure essence of hijinks, shenanigans, like Dakota said, like classic nods to the original. And while you're looking at the director, I'll share, but this... Raja Gosnell.
Oh, Home Alone 3, Smurfs 2, Never Been Kissed, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. So a long and
Robust.
history. Yeah, this director has. Okay.
I used to watch Scooby Doo every morning before school, and I would read the comic books. I don't know if you've noticed, but Ruh-roh is one of my favorite things to say, along with
noticed that,
you never noticed. But this, I loved this the old school cartoon for sure.
Where are you? Like Scooby Doo, where are you?
Yeah, like the early, like the first
With the castle, and then it starts and the bats come screeching out. It's like,
yes. Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Where are you? Yeah, it just brings back fond memories. Like, my dad would make me breakfast sandwiches in the morning. I'd be in my PJs, getting ready for school. So this is near and dear to my heart. What is it for you?
Well, it's funny that you say that too. My sister Jackie has the box set of Where Are You? And she brings it every time she comes to visit.
Did she bring it like last week?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's the same. And I like other iterations of it too. Of course, the original is like the one, but there's some other ones that were good too. Even some of the movies that came out, like the 90s movies, like Zombie Island.
Oh, yes.
The one with the three girls in the band.
Josie and the Pussycats?
No. It was like a Scooby Doo movie where they were like the weird sisters or something like that. And they were like sexy band of witches.
Oh, no, I can't.
Really good.
Because that's all part of the same universe. Like
Yeah.
Josie, I think even Archie is like kind of in that same universe. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Scooby Doo, they're all under the
I
same
didn't know that
umbrella.
Scooby Doo was in the same. I know that Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats, and
They
Archie are all one, but I didn't know. I don't know about that.
I might be mistaking. They were just out at the same time.
They should be. They should be in the same world.
Yeah.
And I could see that.
I would like that to happen. If anyone's hearing this, please make that canon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, casting great. And yeah, it just came out at the right time too. Like 2002, I was young. So
Yeah.
I remember going to it in theaters. I remember going to it again when it came to the town cinema.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, the cinema used to do Sunday matinees only, because it was like the Asparagus Theater. It was like the local acting theater.
Oh.
But then they would do matinees on Sundays. And they would have like a little paper brochure where you would get it and it would tell you like what the next 2 months worth of movies were going to
that's
be.
like Shoebox
and
downtown.
you would like plan with your friends and stuff
so cute.
to go, and they had like a little concession. So I went to that with my mother, and yeah, I don't know, I just loved it. I think it's like so.
It's peak 2002. That's
It's
for
like
sure.
yeah, and it's like they didn't want to like drive around with their friends and like
Solve mysteries.
crime.
Reveal the various, evil dudes hiding behind masks.
always some old white guy.
Really.
And I would have
gotten away with it if it wasn't for you
Meddling kids and your dumb dog.
For real though, because I think that line itself is imprinted in obviously pop culture, but you would immediately know what we're talking about if you were to say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
And I like how and we'll get into this obviously, but I like how they did a little bit of a spin. Like it was slightly different, perhaps a little bit more modernized, and for 2002 it was pretty on track. Sarah Michelle Gellar had her like Buffy kind of like fight scene in the middle.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. I just
They're
feel like
so cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love that. Spoiler alert, like Daphne and Fred kiss at the end.
Oh
It's
my
like, yeah, so cute. I also wanted to bring up I know that Freddie Prinze Jr. has like acknowledged it like in a podcast. There's like of like when they were doing interviews for this. I feel like we should share it on our socials too. And everyone's like, it's groundbreaking, it's innovative, and it's like showing all the other cast members talking about it. And he's like, it's a talking dog. And he's acknowledged like how fucking dumb like he looked like in those clips of him. It's like so Fred though.
So Fred.
Like literally our Fred.
I think that's
Your name is Freddy. Like
the movie's dumb. Like that's meant to, like that's part of it, right? But the way they were talking so seriously about it, it's like, yes.
I mean, it's a talking dog.
It's a talking dog.
So Freddie Prinze Jr. is Fred. Daphne, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Matthew Lillard. Shaggy.
Yep.
Love him. Also, he has done the voice of Shaggy for everything since this.
And I that's just right.
That is right.
That is the way that God
all
intended
the
it, really.
All the other stuff, he's done the voice for Shaggy.
Because it's so on point from the other
He nailed it. Yeah, he nailed it, for sure. And then, what's her name? I guess I have to look it up now.
It's giving,
she's large.
Michelle
As soon as I see it, actually, Linda Cardellini. I don't know if I would be like, of course. Whoops. But you know,
she's
you've seen
Velma.
her, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Freaks and Geeks. Bro. Yeah. I guess everyone was in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's hot. I mean,
she does Velma well.
Her Velma voice is really good too.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's through the nose, right?
Easily.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then and there's also
Mr. Bean's also in there.
Mr. Bean, Isla Fisher. Isla Fisher. Yeah.
And there's so many fucking wigs in this movie. I was wigged overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But
Sugar Ray also.
Sugar.
I was listening to Sugar Ray on the way here today. I'm like, I feel like I'm one of the only. Maybe not, but I unironically like Sugar Ray.
And I'm happy for you.
I do. I just feel like I'm on a beach somewhere, you know?
Absolutely.
I feel like there's nothing can go wrong.
You are in a time machine when you listen to Sugar Ray. You go back in. Well, I feel like I'm back then, reading YM magazine.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, when he would be on the radio. I'm saying, though, that, like, I actively listen to Sugar Ray, not just for nostalgia's sake, like...
He's an artiste.
I like the music. I like the sound.
Fair enough.
It's not all I listen to. It's not like, there's nothing weird about it, I don't think.
You're making it weird.
There's nothing weird about it. So should we get into the plot?
Let's get into the thick of it.
So the movie opens and we are at the Wow toy factory.
Mm-hmm.
It's the case of the Luna Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So the gang is in this toy factory, running around, classic Scooby Doo chase style.
Oh yeah.
Lots of almost like Looney Tunes-esque kinds of like physical comedy happening. Yes. Daphne's getting captured immediately, getting fondled by this ghost.
Yeah.
Right? Velma's trying to make a smart plan.
Yeah. Fred's taking charge.
Scooby and Shaggy are just like running on a conveyor belt, not going anywhere, basically.
Classic.
Right? So they catch the ghost after some tomfoolery and find it's this old man Wiggins or something. Again, just like the classic, you know. Pamela Anderson comes up and she's randomly,
thank you for saving my family's factory.
It's so funny. And then, so all the press and stuff comes in and they're like, hey, Fred, how did you do this? And Fred just fully is taking all of the credit for the newscameras. Mm-hmm. And Velma's pissed. And you can tell that, like, this is not the first time. He's pretty notorious for always acting like he's the leader of the group. Like, they're not a team. It's like, he's in charge. Yeah. And she's really had enough of it. So after they kind of leave the whole crowd and they're like loading up the van, they're arguing. They're all arguing, and even Daphne's kind of getting in on it because she's like, she doesn't want to always be the victim. Yeah. And like she's literally out here getting molested like on the daily for the crew. Yeah. And like getting
it's the classic bait trope too, right? Yeah. Like let's put the pretty girl or like the innocent one, or let's just, your only use for our group is this function, and she's done with it.
Shaggy's like trying to keep them together, like, hey, you know, we're a team. Come on, guys, we can do this. And they just cannot like get on the same page. They can't get over it at this point, and so the gang breaks up. Very sad. We flash to 2 years later on the beach. The mystery machine is parked. There's like smoke pumping out of it.
Oh, and you are kind of led to believe that they are getting high as a kite inside, but
they are hotboxing the mystery machine at this point with eggplant burger smoke.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbecuing inside. Great idea, guys.
The only thing I love more than an eggplant burger is a chocolate-covered eggplant burger. Thank you. Kiss. Yeah, so Scooby and Shaggy are cooking on a fucking grill inside their van that has no windows open. They're lucky for the ventilation, I guess. But also, it's like, you're on a beach.
Just go outside.
Just go outside. Like, how fucking hot is it in there?
Yeah.
Somebody comes and knocks on the door. It's a representative of Emile Mondavarius, who would like to invite them to come to his amusement park, Spooky Island. There's a back and forth. They're not into it. They don't do anything with spooky in the title.
They're retired now.
Whatever, yeah.
They're living the high life.
He tells them they'll fly them out. It's all gonna be free and all you can eat. And then they're like, okay. And these two have like a tapeworm
or something.
An eating disorder. Like, there's something like
genetically wrong with them.
The highest metabolism
of all time.
It's just incredible.
And that's the gag. I love that they're just like constantly, I think Shaggy was always coded as that like beatnik stoner guy. And the fact that they just have munchies all the time just kills me. And as a kid, I had no idea. I'm like, they're just always so hungry. And now I'm like, no, they're fucking high as balls. They need them foods.
Yeah. And I always love how Scooby's always stealing his food, right? When he, like, in the cartoon, that would always happen too, where, like, Shaggy would get distracted, and Scooby would, like, slurp the inside of the sandwich out, and then he would just, like, bite the bread, the plain bread.
Yeah. Dogs shouldn't eat people food, but not in this world.
Yeah.
That's why he's sneaking around.
Well, honestly, maybe dogs should eat people food, because this one can talk.
And maybe if they ate more people food, we'd have more talking dogs.
That's what I'm saying.
Science.
Yeah. At the airport, Fred and Velma run into each other, and Fred has been touring with his book, Fred on Fred, and Velma works for NASA.
Genius.
So they're, like, kind of walking together. I don't know that they've clocked at this point. They're going to the same place. They're walking in the same direction at the airport.
Yeah.
Then they see Daphne. Velma puts it together that they've all got the same invite. Daphne has 15 pieces of luggage, and she is like, what do you mean I can't check these all? How the hell did she get through security with that in the first place?
Maybe it was just an inside joke and they wanted to see how far she could get, because pure Daphne fashion, they're all beautifully, like, matching purple, and there's, like, that classic, luggage where it's, like, various different boxes that she's, like, carting around.
Yeah. Like, one just has a hat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just digging Daphne's color scheme. Like, the orange hair, or, like, red hair, but, like, the pure... But they've all had, like, a bit of a glow-up, would you say? Well, it's 2 years later. They've all shifted a little bit in their style.
Yeah. But that's the same thing. It's like, through all the generations of Scooby Doo, that color coding has always stayed the same, which I think is, like, really important, too.
Yeah.
Like, hanging on to the... Like, even in Scooby Doo 2, when Velma puts on the cat suit,
It's that orange. Yeah.
That was a defining moment for me as a kid. Velma in the cat suit.
I swear to God, there are moments in Scooby Doo 2 where you're like, Velma's into girls.
And so am I.
Yeah, that too. That's what are we all into girls right now?
Oh my god. So Daphne tells them that she's a black belt now. Like, she's like, I am no longer a damsel in distress. I'm a fucking black belt. I will kick all your asses. And they do not take her seriously whatsoever.
Oh,
they just, like, brush it off. They're like, hey, whatever, that's funny. So Shaggy shows up, and they're like, where's Scooby? And then Scooby comes strutting up in full grandma drag behind him, because they don't let big dogs on the plane, so he dressed him up as his grandma.
Love it.
Genius.
Classic.
And Fred doesn't recognize Scooby.
Who's the old woman?
That's so funny. Like, again, that's classic Fred. It's fantastic.
Such an idiot.
So they reluctantly agree that they're all going to go on the trip, but separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the plane, a blonde Isla Fisher asks to sit with Shaggy.
You know her name, right?
Huh. Am I saying it wrong?
No, I mean, like, you know her name in the movie, right?
Yeah, Mary Jane. Yeah, I know, and again, it's like, as a kid, you're not.
What?
But it's like, and he's like, that's my favorite name.
Like, oh my god.
And she just, like, starts delicately eating Scooby snacks.
Ty from the other room, like, is she eating dog food?
Yeah. And she's like, I know they're for dogs, but they're vegetarian, and I love them. It's like, a lot of human food is also vegetarian.
Yeah.
I guess not as much in 2002.
Oh, because cardboard is not the first ingredient in dog food anymore.
But, yeah, so it's really a love at first sight for Shaggy.
Oh, he's smitten.
Yeah, hard. And she's allergic to dogs, so she's like sneezing. Shaggy's like, go see your friends.
Go over there, Grandma.
Yeah. So they arrive on the island, and they're met by Mr. Bean, who is playing Emil Montevarius. He's like in this weird robot thing, like welcoming everybody to the island.
Yeah.
And then he steps out of it, and he tells them the reason that they're here is that he thinks that someone is like casting a spell on all the students that come to the island. And he needs them, the best of the best, to solve this mystery. The kids, he's like, look at these kids. The kids that are arriving, they're wild, they're ready for spring break, they're ready to party. And the ones that are leaving are like, they look like little toy soldiers.
Little Stepford wives soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very uptight. And then we see this interaction of two that know each other. One's coming, one's leaving. And the guy's like, hey, did you have a great time? And she's like, are you talking to me? And she, like, lifts him up and, like, throws him.
Full chucks that man.
Yeah.
Across the pier. Side note, when I watched this, I swear there were, like, children at this amusement park. It is full-blown young adults only, because there's, like, drinking and partying, and I'm assuming a lot of raves, because, like,
oh, yeah,
why wouldn't
honestly,
you?
though, this, like, when I was younger, not now, but, like, this looks fun as fuck, actually, to go. Like, it's, like, roller coaster rides, lots of raves every night, like beach
bonfires, like volleyball on the beach. Just,
I'm
like,
assuming like glow in the dark cocktails.
Oh, I'm like glow in the dark tag. Like this place looks fun as shit. But in my head as a kid, I thought there were more kids there.
Not kid friendly.
Not kid friendly. This is a 17 rating, or not even really. They're all like college students, right?
If it's America, well, but I guess it depends on what country the island's in, right? Like 18 plus, we'll say. Probably. Yeah.
I love how we just went like a full-blown canon conversation as to how old do you have to be in order to be on this
island. To go to Spooky Island, 18.
Yeah, 18.
For sure.
Or parent signature.
I don't know. Your face. Here's the thing. What, like, 40 to 40 to 60-year-old is like, you know what is a family vacation? I'm going to go with my 16, 17-year-old kid to this college island where it's raves and shit. I'm sure there's like 1 in 100 or maybe 1,000.
And I want to see that character in this movie.
Yeah.
Where are they? I guess that's Mr. Bean.
The 160-year-old dad.
It's like, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Where's the shuffleboard?
Yeah, so the gang are all super down to solve the mystery. But again, it's before each other. They're like, I'm gonna solve it first. No, they're not working together.
Zero team.
They're all gonna, be the hero, the star. So we kind of split up. Velma's watching a performance, and she's noticing some college kids in the crowd with her that they look like they're in a trance. They're like mouthing all the words that are being said. It's kind of a chant, too, this music. And she debunks the special effects right away.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And the guy who's leading this, like, performance art piece, which is kind of like, I guess it's like telling the history of the island and stuff, and it's kind of like it's like Main Street Disneyland, I guess, in a way, where you're like, this is...
Never been to Disney anything.
Right,
But, like, I'm assuming it's, like, what you would go into the second you get off of the boat to go to the island, being like, this is the story
that we're telling about
of the story. Yeah.
This place, yeah. So, it's like the ride, or the beginning part of Jurassic Park where they go through and see the labs and stuff. So anyway, this guy, he's bald, tattoos all over his head. Yeah. And then his best friend is a luchador.
Like, why is there a luchador in this movie? And it makes sense later.
It does, yeah. But at first you're like, okay.
What are the themes here?
I love tattoo head guy and luchador best friend. Yeah. So and the luchador's not contributing to this performance at all. He's just there.
He's a lackey.
Yes, absolutely. So then we go to Dead Mike's bar, where I want to get drunk. It looks so fun. Yeah. At Dead Mike's, a call comes in for Scooby. Well, and then the bartender's like, there's a call here for a Mr. Doo. And this, like, very gaunt-looking, kind of, like, lanky kid stands up. He's like, Melvin Doo? He's like, no, Scooby. So Scooby takes this call, and they say that they have a bag of hamburgers for him if he just has to, like, walk down into the shadowy dark woods to get them. And he's like, great.
See you there.
So Scooby disappears into the woods. Shaggy's flirting so hard with Mary Jane that he does not notice that Scooby disappears. Now we cut to Daphne. She's walking on the beach, and she comes to a house where a guy is sacrificing a dead chicken.
That chicken's already dead.
Just funny. I just want to say, so he's referred to as the voodoo man in this movie. He seems to live on the beach. I just want to say voodoo, like, it is an actual religion. It is an actual practice. It has a very rich and important history. A lot of people believe it to be real, and and so we don't want to, like, discredit that at all. This is not voodoo, what's happening. This is the 2002 caricature of what, they're just throwing it in as a part of the story. So, just to say that, his character is the voodoo man. That's what I meant. But we're not saying that this has anything to do with actual voodoo that exists that is important.
No. Yeah. This is just a classic example of a movie taking a piece of culture from something that has literally nothing to do with the story whatsoever, to a degree, and co-opting it to, fit their narrative, which is just, classic, I want to say acclimatization. What is the word? What? Appropriation. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Not acclimatization. Appropriation.
Yeah. Yes. So that. So she's on the beach talking to him, and he's good though. He tells her, cause she's like asking him for advice and stuff, and he's like, you want some advice? Purple's a fall color. It's the middle of May. And she's like, oh. Yeah. So he's like, basically his advice for her is get off this island.
Yeah.
And don't go up to that spooky castle.
And then the camera pans to this castle. It's like lightning on. It's like, clearly, do not go there. And she's like, oh, I see what you're saying. I will go to the castle. You're trying to trick me. And he's just like, no, don't go.
He has nothing to do with the shenanigans that are going on this island. He's like
a local,
just trying to protect
Yeah.
himself. Yeah. But it is very funny too because we're seeing this is the first time Daphne is like she's on her own. She's always wanted to not just be the damsel in distress, the follower. She has brains too. She's strong too. So she's like kind of trying to think like how Velma would in this situation, or being like she's seen them do this a million times and this is what it means. So, but then it's like to the point where she's overthinking it so much. Where she's like, "Oh, you're saying I shouldn't go because I actually should go. Or because you want me to go and you laid a trap there for me.
Yeah.
Or because, and she's like going through all these, and it's like not that deep.
Yeah. She's tired of being a follower. She's doing her own thing. She's getting her clues. But what we're noticing is that the team doesn't necessarily fully work well in isolation. All of them.
So Scooby is following very sketchily written signs that are like nailed to trees. In the woods to a bag that's hanging from a tree. It's the hamburger bag. He puts his head in the bag, so the bag's like fully on his head, and then this monster, a real monster, sneaks up on him, and these monsters are so weird looking. You should post a picture of them.
You know what they look like? They're kind of canine.
Yeah, but I think they're kind of like cats too.
Ooh.
Like the face, I always felt like the face was more cat.
Okay.
Because the face is very like square.
I will get a poll. Cat or dog?
Dog body.
Cat face?
Kind of. Cat dog face.
Werewolf. Canine.
It's got no fur. They're purple.
With like
they're very
freckles.
Big. They're long. They're like
they're
skinny.
Werewolves. What I'm like
naked ones.
Naked werewolf. Yeah. We'll get your informed opinion.
Yeah.
On the socials.
Is it giving cat? Is it giving dog? Is it giving
something else?
Fish?
Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Is it giving fish? Absolutely not. It is not giving fish.
Well, touche though.
Sorry. So, this monster sneaks up on him and tries to capture him unsuccessfully. They have a little back and forth there. Scooby comes running back to Shaggy at Dead Mike's Bar and Grill. And he is screaming, "Monster, monster, monster!" And very inopportune timing, this guy in like a bunny costume, like a bunny head, comes walking out of the woods after him. He's like, "Hey!" He's like, right? And
immediately discredits him.
Shaggy, because at first Shaggy's like, "What's going on?" And then he sees this guy, and he's like, "There's no such thing as monsters, Scoob.
Yeah.
Like, just chill out. You're being dramatic. Calm down, right?"
Yeah. Because that's their shtick, right? Like, Daphne has gone into this, like, self-defense class, woman protect herself, and Scooby and Shaggy have, like, really worked on, like, monsters aren't real, because in the classic, they're always scared.
Getting scared.
They're
always getting
scared.
And every time it's just some old white guy
in a costume, right? So they're working really hard on being like, that's not real. But obviously, Scooby did see a fucking monster.
He did see he saw what he saw, right?
It's real.
It wasn't some guy in a bunny suit, no matter what.
No.
Yeah, so Daphne convinces Shaggy and Scooby to go up to the castle with her. When they go up there, the rest of the gang also shows up at the castle. So Fred immediately resumes his old role of telling everyone what to do, right? He's bossing them around. He's like, me and Daphne are going to go this way, Velma, whatever. Again, Velma has an issue with this, and she's like, great, pick last again. You always pick the pretty girl first. It's like, Velma, we're all beautiful in our own way.
Yeah, that's the chip on her shoulder, right?
Also,
she's never appreciated for her intelligence.
Daphne and Fred are a couple.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're fucking.
Banging for years.
So it's kind of weird that you would want to, like, you know what I mean?
Maybe she can't read that, but, like,
maybe.
I totally appreciate Velma's frustrations of feeling underappreciated and not being picked or valued.
Yes.
And we'll get a little bit
of
that later.
Again, it's like, it's misplaced. In this, a little
bit. In this context.
Like,
totally. They're all misplaced in their shit.
Yeah. So, Shaggy and Scooby enter a room that consists of, like, a huge banquet of wax food. Which is very scary. Daphne is solo.
Yeah.
Fred and Velma go together because they gotta work some shit out, let's be real. Like, they really need to have a conversation.
Well, they need to have, like, a frank, everything on the table conversation, rather than this, like, seething under your breath stuff. Velma needs to own it.
Yeah. So, Velma and Fred as they're walking, they're talking, and they are being watched from behind that little cherubic butt. It's like a wall. It's like carved into the wall, right? And it's like a cherub.
Yeah.
But with like a scary Joker face.
Yeah, and creepy eyeballs following.
Jester, I guess.
Yes,
it's like
yes,
a jester and like a dunce cap, but like butt out. It's like flying. It's so funny. And then, the eyes, someone's behind the wall watching them. So the person who is watching them, they run over to this like control panel. They flip a switch, and it starts this ride.
Yeah.
Daphne boot fucks a door open, just totally knocks it open.
Yeah.
And then she gets knocked onto the front of a moving cart.
Yeah.
So she's on the front of this cart going on this track.
Super fast, I might say.
Very fast, yeah. So the food starts attacking Scaggy and Scooby. Shaggy and Scooby. Scaggy.
The grossest word ever.
Scaggy and Shooby. Can you imagine? Yeah. In another universe, it's not Shaggy and Scooby, it's Scaggy and Shooby. So they are being attacked by food, which I suppose is their worst nightmare.
I would say, like
very
flying
scary for them.
sausage links?
Usually,
I would run away.
Usually a dream.
Yeah.
Well, you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So I'm like, flying sausage links, yes.
Yeah. Coming at me.
Absolutely. And I'm hungry,
Yeah.
right?
Ultimate.
But in this situation, no, they are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So Fred and Velma are being chased. No, they're not being chased by swinging axes. How would you describe this? They're running through like a gauntlet?
That's exactly it. So the classic, gotta outstep or like get out of the way of
Like a
these
video
massive axes that are swinging back and forth. And again, that like creepy ass jester motif is coming at them.
I guess it's kind of like Tomb Raider or something, where it's like timing to run the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I write? Being chased by axes.
Technically they are running from them, so I'll allow it.
They're at this like wall, they're trying to find a way through, and Fred gets thrown through this glass window,
Which happens a lot in this movie, actually.
Yeah.
So many stunt work.
and he hits the control panel with his butt in the nick of time and shuts down the ride.
Yeah.
So now he's in this control room. Velma comes in to make sure that he's okay, and he says that it seems like it's like some kind of school, and he like flips on this training video.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Shaggy and Scooby find what looks to be like some kind of TV set with like a living room and a kitchen in it. And Daphne finds this big room with a dais in the middle and then a small gold pyramid on this altar on this dais.
Very different vibes happening in this like spooky haunted mansion ride.
So strange. And so when she goes to touch it, she goes to pick it up, obviously. First she goes to touch it, it opens, and it's covered with all these strange markings. Then she picks it up, and a trap starts to close around her, so she jumps out in the
Nick of booty time. Like,
she almost got caught. Her little leg just like flying through. Yeah, so Scooby and Shaggy are having what I would call a gas-off. In the TV room. I fucking hate this part. I've always hated this part.
It's so over the top. Like one fart gag is great.
Yeah.
But they're really catering to their 12-year-old audience, I suppose. Even at that age, you're like, this is too much fart.
I didn't like it. But you know me, I'm not into like fart jokes and stuff at all.
And as someone who is into fart jokes, it was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah, and it even I remember because I went to this in theaters with my mom, and then after it, she was like, "Oh, that was a boy movie."
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, it's not.
I suppose fart humor has been notoriously categorized as boy humor, but I will break that mold and say farts are funny. Farts are funny because later on. And we will get to this part. Like, if they had done a little fart gag, great, because later on when he's in that Knight of Shining Armor, and it's like that echoed fart, that's fucking funny. But because they overdid it, not so funny.
By the time you did that, it's like,
we've seen this.
I don't know.
Enough fart.
They're having a gas off in the room. Daphne comes running in. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
And then the person who started the ride has been, like, hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, ducking around.
The whole time. Like, they're walking right past him.
Yeah. I might say that the person who is activating the ride too is kind of dressed in a strange way compared to everyone else on the island. Like, everybody's dressed in normal clothes, whereas this person is dressed somewhat, there's like face paint and almost like a ceremonial vibe-ish to his clothing.
Yeah, so this person, they set off an alarm. They all run back together, and in classic Scooby Doo fashion, then they all hide in the costumes, hiding in plain sight. That's a very classic. Yeah. The bad guys are like right in front of them. Yeah. And one of them, we hear them saying Damon-ritis. This is what Daphne had grabbed. Then Shaggy farts. There's an explosion. We all laugh. They escape. They come running out of the castle together, laughing. And
old times.
they are fully back together at this point. They're totally back together. They had a blast. So they go back to like the main area where everyone stays. They tell Emil that they have 3 suspects. First is the bald-headed guy with the tattoos. Navu Tanis is his name. Okay. Yeah. He was leading the performance that Velma saw. Second is the voodoo man on the beach. And third is Emil himself.
And he goes, me?
Yes. And Fred's like, mostly because you creep me out. Which is great.
Mr. Bean would never.
So, Velma, so they decide, okay, they're like, we're gonna split up. Daphne's gonna research cults on the web. Velma's gonna research this Damon-ritis thing. And Fred's gonna go ask some questions, I think, around, get a vibe. So Velma's fucking not as smart as she thinks she is, because she's inspecting this thing on the bar in front of everybody. Everybody. God and everybody. Yeah. Like, it's so, I don't know. I was just like, really, girl?
Painfully obvious.
Yeah. So this guy in a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, he's pretty cute, comes up, he's like talking to her, chatting her up, asking her about this. She just fully tells him everything. Her theories, all this. Yeah. Then she has a flashback to the good old days when they were all a crew, they were all together. The glory days, like when they were in their height. And it was perfect except for Scrappy was with them.
Scrappy. This character is a massive controversy because you either love him or you hate him.
Even in the old cartoons, I hated the ones that Scrappy was.
He was so fucking annoying. And he threw the dynamic off.
Yeah.
God. And he can talk.
So Scrappy, he fully talks. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas Scooby...
Not as much. So Scrappy is Scooby's nephew.
Okay, I thought it was cousin, but it is nephew.
Yeah. Which is...
I'm just imagining Scooby's sibling giving birth to Scrappy.
Funny.
At family reunions, they're all getting together, and Christmases, and...
Yeah. I feel like Scooby's the fun uncle.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And Scrappy's the little devil.
Like, Scooby's like the Jack Black of the family,
yes.
right? Where he,
great character.
He only shows up, every once in a while, and everyone fucking loves it when he does, and everyone has a blast, but then he, fully has his own thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Uncle Scooby coming today?
Yeah. So... As you were saying, Scrappy's the worst. He's super hyperactive. He is just very egomaniacal. Yeah. He is just annoying in every way. And he pisses all over Daphne, which is just so gross. So gross. And he's like, what? And then Fred's like, we know that you're marking your territory, you little perv. Yeah. And so they kick his ass out on the side of the road. Middle of fucking nowhere too, which is hilarious. Yeah. Oh, we also find out that he's not a puppy.
Oh, no, he's just small.
She says he has a gland disorder. Oh. So, but in the cartoons, he's a puppy. Because he always says puppy power. Puppy power! Yeah. Sure. So, Velma seems wasted while she's talking to this guy.
I think because she got drinks on the house. Did you see that? Straight up, she got roofied. She had 2 sips and then got wasted. Which is, evil territory, right?
Real life evil.
Real evil territory. Yeah. Because there's no way that my girl Velma got drunk after 2 sips.
No. Yeah. Huh. Scooby, everyone's hanging out again in this place, at this bar. Scooby's sitting in the window. He sees a monster through the window. He freaks the fuck out. Fred gets up on this table. He's telling everybody calm down. There's no such thing as monsters. And a monster bursts through the window and knocks him out with its bad breath. This is like my character, my other campaign.
Yeah.
How my poison spray is my
Bad
breath. Yeah. Velma tries to pull the mask off of this thing because she's lit.
Yeah.
And she's like stretching, pulling on its face. It's real. And she is also knocked out. So the rando from the bar tries to rescue her. That does not go well for him. Daphne successfully gets the Damon-ritis back because Velma just left it on the bar. And that tattoo head guy, he was like running over trying to get it. Daphne gets it back. Another Scooby Doo chase ensues. So, Daphne, Scooby, Shaggy, and Mary Jane are the only ones that escape these monsters. Shaggy wants to run, but Daphne hypes them up. That they're gonna be the rescuers this time, and they're gonna follow them and figure it out, like what's going on. So they like follow where they're taking all the people. Yeah, and it's like into this, like where the performance was. It was like
It's kind of like also in a cave.
yeah, it's like going into a cave.
Yeah.
The door closes immediately, so they can't get in. They can't do anything. Mary Jane calls the Coast Guard for help. The Coast Guard is also evil.
Very creepy grin at the end of that, where you're like, oh no, they're gonna get help, that's great, and then,
They're like, yeah, we'll be right there.
LOL. Not.
They sleep on the beach. In the morning, everything is fixed. All the broken glass, like, everything is back to normal, which is crazy.
Very quick and quiet work, I must say.
Yeah.
Magical.
Everybody's back. They're playing beach volleyball. Like, everything's normal. Sugar Ray is there. And he is evil. You can see his green eyes.
And Daphne clocks it, and she's like, this guy's singing and dancing at me, and then,
he like gets right in her
and his eyes go at her, and she goes, back away, Sugar Ray.
Yeah. So, Scooby finds Fred, and he's being weird as fuck, like, the way he's talking to him and stuff like that. And,
yeah, like, how he's talking. He's like, sup, bro? Like, yeah, Fred is a bro, but not that
like
bro.
That
is the bro of bro. Like, broiest of bros.
Fred's a fashion bro.
He is a fashion bro.
Yeah.
He loves his ascot.
Yeah. He's,
clean, fashion. And this is puka shell wearing thong sandal in the sand, bro.
I guarantee you, Fred Jones would never wear a thong sandal and never wear a puka shell. Those are, like, fundamentally against
anti-fashion.
who he is as a person.
Thank you.
Slides only. If we're wearing sandals, if it's open-toed, preferably not in bow shoes.
Oh.
Right.
Those leather,
Loafers.
like the little pointy leather with a heel.
I'm actually thinking of the wicker loafer.
What, espadrilles. He's an espadrille boy.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. So, anyway, then I write, he tries to get him with his breath.
Yeah.
So Fred tries to get Scooby in this moment?
Well, at this point, Fred is not himself.
Yeah.
And then it's like further revealed that he's super duper not himself because he's got something extra wrong with him because he did release the same bad breath gas as the big ass monster did last night.
Meanwhile, the luchador grabs Daphne and takes the Damon-ritis. This is like nobody sees this.
No.
This is like off somewhere else. Fred and Sugar Ray chase Scooby and Shaggy. This is true.
Never thought you'd say that sentence in your life.
True. They chase Scooby and Shaggy into this garage where they find 2 quads and ride them away.
I wish they referred to them as bikes. Those are quads.
They're quads, yeah. You know, 4 wheels. So Shaggy picks up Mary Jane. They're all riding. They're riding next to each other. Mary Jane gets, like, her head got hit by a bump. Well, because Shaggy was like, duck. There was a low leaf or whatever.
She got whacked.
Shaggy sees her, like, straightening her face out. He realizes that the monster got Mary Jane. And Scooby saw her.
Yeah. Shaggy does not see this.
Yeah. Shaggy's driving. So the chase ends, and Scooby's trying to protect Shaggy from Mary Jane, but Shaggy is not believing it.
Again.
And so they start fighting, and a trap door opens, and Scooby falls in. And then Mary Jane's like, Shaggy, no!
And he's like, what?
Like, he didn't. He's like, I have to go. Friends never give up.
And then she's like,
I mean, Shaggy, don't. It's dangerous. I just like, Shaggy, no. So, Shaggy dives in, right?
Head first.
Follows him down into this underground cave system that is very bizarre. And it's like, oh, this is where all the, like, bad shit is happening, right? All the secret bad shit. So there's this big pool of protoplasms, which is what they call it. I was like, it's their souls. But
That's what I said too.
like that they call it protoplasms, not souls, because it kind of takes the religious aspect out of it.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely more aligned with classic Scooby Doo. Like, it is their, I don't know, sciencey, what is that term where it's that, well, you know, like cryptozoology, right? Where it's like, that's not real animals. What is the phrase used? It's like a paranormal, the word I was looking for is paranormal, like science explanation of it. It's a protoplasm
Like
versus
science fiction. Or are you thinking of like how, like pseudoscience? Because pseudo is like fake, right?
It's like paranormal pseudoscience, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, instead of it having that religious element
Component.
of like, the word soul, to me, it has a religious connotation.
And they're already
Also-
co-opting the voodoo.
Right.
They can't cross streams here with the religion.
Also, though, I think in some religions, like, dogs don't have souls.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Poor
It's like so sad. Yeah, so if you believe
All
that,
dogs
if you're into
do
that
go to
kind of-
heaven, for the record.
Yeah. The way that I'm afraid someday he's gonna burst.
So,
I've never seen you play with him that way.
I know,
before.
I'm into stretching the banana now. Before it
It's
was
like
just
2
smack.
feet long.
It's 2 feet long. It's got the consistency of that Stretch Armstrong
Yeah.
toy, and I kind of want to see how far I can take it without making a mess. We'll see.
Whatever. I have a vacuum. You can fucking. I'm like about ready to see what's inside.
It's sand, y'all.
Yeah, but like.
What kind of sand?
Yeah. What color is it?
Protoplasm sand.
Okay, yeah, so it's a big pool of protoplasms. Velma calls out to him. Her protoplasm is like, Shaggy! He plucks her out. You know what it also is like? It's like in Hercules, Hades, his pool of souls.
That's
It's
why.
that,
It's
but it's
that.
like a smaller dish of it. Than like
compared
the whole,
to the Hercules one.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's
gigantic,
pretty big.
it's like a cauldron
Yeah.
of souls.
So
Not
he
souls.
plucks her out. She tells him to be careful, and he lets her I can just start calling it proto, fly back to her body. When it enters her body, the monster pops out, and it is destroyed in the sun. Instantly. So that's great to know. He finds Fred's protoplasm. Here's my note. He should have dumped the whole field.
That's literally what we said when we were watching it. And they even pluck out a random guy and he's like,
Puts him
thank
back.
you for saving me. And he's like, I'm not looking for you. Puts them back. I'm like, why not let them all go?
This is what happens when Shaggy is in charge, unfortunately. Yeah, so...
Too stoned.
Oh, also, I don't know this. Because, okay. Yeah, so then he finds Daphne also, and she's like determined to get herself out. She's like, I'll use my tongue as an oar and I'll swim to the side, like, don't save me. Yeah. He's like, whatever, he lets her fly. So, real Velma and Velma's body gets Daphne away from, like, a group of people.
Yeah.
And into another room so that she can get her protoplasm back and won't cause, like, a big scene. The way that she does this is by saying, yo, yo, yo. And I still say that sometimes. I think it's so, yo, yo, yo. It's so funny. It's like so...
Velma trying to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So she can change back a protoplasm. She sees it flying. It pops in.
Yeah.
It's Fred. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Fred says, like, he couldn't find his body. He panicked.
Fred.
Sure.
Classic Fred.
Yeah. So Daphne went into Fred's body. Shaggy finds them, puts the Daemonitis in the middle of them. Now all of their plasmas are just flying around, going in randomly into each other until they get into the right body. So they switch a few times. Mm-hmm. An explosion goes off in the distance and they run towards it.
What was that?
The Voodoo Man says that he thinks that they are getting ready to do their Darkopolis?
Apocalypse with dark in front.
Oh, Darkopolis.
Darkopolis. Yeah.
I said Darkopolis, like a dark metropolis. Right.
Settle down, Batman.
Darkopolis. Rolls off the tongue.
I wonder how many times he had to practice that in his trailer before he came out that day.
Darkopolis. So, this ritual, and that it requires a pure soul, and then they're gonna take over the earth. Mm-hmm. And Fred's like, where are they gonna get a pure human soul? And Velma's like, he didn't say human. And Shaggy's like, where the fuck is Scooby? Fuck.
And Scooby's being lured the whole movie, basically, to this point, right?
Yeah, they're trying very hard to traffic him, for sure.
This whole movie turns into Taken with Liam Neeson. I will find you.
It's basically Xander, for sure. Flash to Scooby in a trap. Literally in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gang puts together that the person who needs Scooby for the ritual is the one that brought him here in the first place.
Yes.
Emil Montevarius.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson. First time saying that.
I know. It's only Mr. Bean. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
everybody knows who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Mr. Bean.
Also, did you ever watch Blackadder?
Yes. Rowan
Anyway.
Atkinson is a gift to humanity.
He's so funny. Now we flash back to Scooby. He's ushered into Emil's office. Emil's trying to gaslight Scooby about Shaggy, and he tells them that he has an important job for him, that he wants him to be a sacrifice. And Scooby's down because he doesn't know what sacrifice means.
Yeah, because he's a dog who knows maybe 4 or 5 words.
He knows,
He can hear it, but he can't say it.
He's like, Rackerize? Hell yeah.
I'm into that.
Also, the gaslighting, also the way Shaggy's been treating him. Like, he's being super nice to me.
Yeah.
And saying, I'm important, nobody's listening to me. Like, yes, I will do this. He's also, I think, in this moment of, like, trying to do, like, how the others were, like, proving their individuality.
Yeah.
I think this is a moment where Scooby's trying to do that, too.
I'm gonna make my own decisions.
But he is not a human. He's a dog. And he doesn't get it. He does not get it. The way that everybody else. Yeah. So, literally crying.
He is not a human. He is a dog.
So on the beach, they have this convo about being scared, but about being heroes, and they all put their hands together and they're gonna go save Scooby.
Yeah.
It's a good moment. Like, it's more than that, but I'm just like, that's what basically
It's a neutralizer. Everybody's on the same page. Let's go team.
Yeah. So there's a montage of them setting stuff up in the caves. There's a lot of pulleys and carabiners. It's a highly overcomplicated plan, which is, again, the classic Scooby Doo formula of overcomplicated plan that backfires to then have this secondary, simpler
Resolve.
kind of plan B thing work out, yeah.
But there's this giant disco ball, but it's like a giant skull with like spikes coming out of it, which is so fucking badass.
Which
I
they're
want that.
trying to hang up so it'll reflect
the light.
Yeah. So Shaggy accidentally attaches the rope to himself instead of the bat, and the plan backfires, but he does manage to knock a bad guy out in the process. So people are starting to come into the cave now, and the ritual is starting. Shaggy sees Scooby in a room being pampered. Fred and Velma join in with the other young people to blend in. Shaggy steals the bad guy's clothes, and Daphne is like clinging to a wall near the ceiling.
Just on the ceiling.
So
like a spider monkey.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. So everyone stops dancing except for fucking Fred, and him and Velma get captured again. Scooby is brought in on a stone chair, like a Shea Lounge kind of thing.
Yeah, like a sacrifice.
Yeah, and Shaggy is carrying one side of it, and he is trying to, like,
Scooby, it's me.
He's like, hey, he's telling them, we have to get out of here. He's apologizing to him, and he's asking him to trust him. And Scooby says that Shaggy doesn't trust Scooby. Which is like, don't cry. I'm literally crying. And ultimately they make up. And Shaggy's like, you gotta trust me. Like, you know who I am. Like, you're my number one. I'm your number one. I'm sorry for everything. Please listen to me. We need to run. Like, how we know how to run. We gotta go now.
And then the director does it so dirty because they have like a split second where we're like, oh, okay, they're gonna go. And are they counting down or something? But it, like, that little pincer, like the protoplasm pincer arm comes out of nowhere and just immediately stabs him in the chest.
Yeah.
I was like, no!
Yeah. So, the tattoo head guy sucks out Scooby's plasma. The way that I wrote that down. That is it. That is
Exactly how it's meant to be shot.
That's bad. So, he attaches the Damon Ritus to Emil's chest. He's sucking all the energy sources in. and then the last one's gonna be Scooby.
Yeah.
Shaggy jumps up and just knocks everything over.
Oh, yeah. But not intentionally, but effectively.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Again, classic.
Yeah.
So, Scooby's plasma is flying all around the room, causing absolute chaos and mayhem. Velma and Fred run over to Emil and realize that he's wearing a mask. Fred pulls it off and reveals a robot underneath. Gasp. His chest bursts open, and Scrappy Doo is inside.
That motherfucker.
Yeah. His muscles start growing, and he's getting bigger and bigger because he has absorbed like a bunch of energy sources already. But he still needs Scooby to complete it. Right now, he's just like very swole and like purple, like it's gross. So he's like got one arm bigger than the other and stuff. Daphne escapes outside, and she's trying to open the vents up
To let the light in.
Yeah. The luchador comes up behind her, and we get this amazing. It's like kung fu. It's wrestling. It's like Friday Night SmackDown. It's like
The luchador finally kind of makes sense now.
they're bouncing off of ropes. They're jumping on each other.
Yeah.
They're like, it's so good. She's doing like, but it's also kind of like a kung fu movie, right?
Straight up.
Because she's doing these like spins in the
She's
air
harnessed.
and stuff. Yeah.
Obviously not.
Well, she's not actually. You're telling me that she's not jumping up horizontally, spinning.
And I'd like to think that she did a lot of her own stunts just because she's in like Buffy Prime days right now, right? So that whole scene, I think, was a nod to Sarah Michelle Gellar and her incredible ability to have this skill from a lot of her other work. So I loved this scene as a kid too.
So good. And you're like, oh fuck, she can fight.
And she's wearing a harness. I don't know if did I explain that? She's not doing that for real.
Can you not ruin the fantasy for me, please?
Okay.
Please. So, the luchador says to her, "Captured again, señorita." And that triggers Daphne so hard in the perfect moment, just enough for her to win this fight. She knocks him down, like, onto this vent and then boots him down through. He busts, so we don't even have to worry about opening the vent. He fucking busts through. He falls right directly into the trough of plasmas.
Trough of plasma.
They all fly out into their respective bodies. The disco ball comes down, reflecting the light and exploding all the aliens or whatever they were. What were monsters? Aliens? I don't know.
They are kind of alien-esque. And to be fair, that whole Scrappy-Doo reveal really is giving Men in Black 1 when there's little alien inside.
And also, it kind of leaves more questions than answers for me. Because it's like, how did Scrappy link up with these ancient monsters? You know?
That is really a story for another day.
It's not something...
Did not come back in Scooby Doo 2, that's for sure.
It completely did not. Different thing happening.
Yeah.
So, Scrappy is absolutely wilding out right now. Like, he is freaking the fuck out. Shaggy rips that rightus right out of his chest, and all of the plasmas are
drained out of him.
Flying out. So he goes back to his regular tiny size. And then what happens? Everybody's celebrating because he's fucking tiny. He can't do anything now. Fred and Daphne kiss.
They have a moment.
Love to see it. And
a little romance at the end.
Shaggy hears a knocking sound and opens a hatch in the floor. The real Emil Motivarius comes crawling out.
That poor man was underground for who knows how long.
2 years! 2 years, dude! He said that they were having a casting call.
A casting call.
A casting call for the dwarfs. For the evil dwarfs. They were doing a casting call.
Okay.
For, like, actors.
Yes.
And he showed up and fucking
abducted him.
Locked him in the ground and he's gonna walk around as him for 2 years. So, the rando from the bar hugs Velma.
I guess.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And Scooby and Shaggy have a moment, and then Mary Jane comes in and thanks them both. The real Coast Guard comes, and the press. They ask Fred how he did it, and he says, you know what? Velma should answer
Not
that.
just Velmster.
Velmster.
She like got super emotional when she got a proper nickname to like lure her back into the groove.
Yeah.
She's like, you know just how to get me a nickname. Like, he's like, that's easy. Jeez, I'm just gonna have a speech for you.
Yeah. And the gang is back together.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love how Scrappy Doo actually got carted away in a proper dog kennel, though. That was so good. Gold. What a fun little romp. Like, it's formulaic, but they really did an interesting job in flipping a little bit of the script of it.
Well, how many times did I say, classic Scooby Doo this, classic Scooby Doo that? Like, they really, that's why I think that this movie was so successful, because, like we said, all of those important elements that make Scooby Doo what it is, they kept. Yeah. And they just tweaked everything else around it. The core of it, is... Yeah, and I loved, the arc of the tension, right, between the crew, and
about their relationship, for sure. Yeah, and it is a bit of like that 2002 fever dream. The fashion was on point. The music was great. Albeit there were some moments, obviously, of classic Scooby Doo, but like classic misogynistic or racist undertones in terms of their storytelling.
Classic Scooby Doo.
Classic Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
With like the voodoo, and when they switched bodies too, it was kind of weird. And he was like, "I'm gonna go look myself in the mirror." Yeah,
I just completely skipped that part. It's like, Shaggy being in Velma's body and trying to see up her skirt.
Yeah, like gnarly.
And also, like, Shaggy would never do that.
I don't think he would. Like, that is not
Shaggy's
his character.
A safe man.
He's respectful.
He's safe space.
For sure.
Yeah.
They definitely tainted him a little bit in that scene. But overall, this was such a gag. Like, it was so dumb and silly and funny, and again, Easter eggs galore from like the originals. But Scooby will always have a lovely spot in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I want them to make new live actions. I would watch like a new gen of live action Scooby movies.
You hear that, Netflix?
Crazier CGI.
Yeah.
You know what I also want, and I don't even want to say it on the podcast because I've been talking about this for years, and it's my fucking idea, and someone's gonna steal it. Someone who has connections is gonna steal it. But what I want is could be Netflix, whatever, or HBO, but like live action Scooby Doo TV show where they're fighting like real crimes, like where it's like dark murders, or it's real paranormal. Like, one of the two. It could be, like, they're actually solving, like, murders and shit, and it's, like, way darker. Or it's, like, real ghosts and shit.
Like, proper film noir, but with Scooby-Doo.
And, like, it's, like, more, like, sexy and stuff, too.
That's
like,
the HBO element, too.
Yeah.
The rated R version. Yeah. Game of Thrones of Scooby-Doo.
But, yeah, I think, like, I feel like that would do so good, no? I don't know.
It would definitely tap into a market we're not seeing right now. I need to see more dogs fighting crime, is what I need. Fuck crime. I want ghost crime. Give it me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it was great. But
so
they've done it with, like, they did Archie.
They have done Archie?
They actually did Nancy Drew. That was a really good.
Oh, yeah. I read snippets of Nancy Drew when I was at Grandma's house in summertime, but I never...
I read every single Nancy Drew book that they had in our school library and in the local library.
They're the hardcover books.
The yellow ones.
And they smelled kind of funny.
Yeah.
They're old.
I read every one that I could get my grubby little hands on. So I like
you in your crime fighting days, like sleuthing, getting clues, taking down the man. Hell yeah. Okay. What did you think overall? How do you want to rate this?
Scooby Snacks, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously. I am going to give it 3 out of 5 Scooby Snacks. I'm going out of 5 Likert scale today. But I would never partake in eating said Scooby Snacks because I am
crushing them up and snorting them.
I'm going to give them to Scooby. I will select the 3 and then give them to Scooby, and he will give me his paw every time, and then we'll eat hamburgers later.
So you're saying 3 paw shakes?
3 paw shakes. And maybe we'll split
a veggie burger later.
And a veggie burger later, but we'll also get stoned. I think that Scooby and I will split a little doobie in the back of the machine. What is that? Machine wagon? No, magic wagon?
Mystery machine. That's what it is.
I wasn't gonna step in because I saw it.
It was going.
See the gears.
It was
yeah,
going.
I could see
going.
it later. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Three to five. I think I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5. It doesn't get higher because of the other
Obvious stuff.
the obvious stuff. But 3.5 because it's just like it's higher than a 3, And so same kind of deal, but the half is the bite that I'm taking out of the fourth one
Okay.
to try. So the 3, I'm like pocketing them. I'm gonna see if Gimli likes them.
Your
But
cat.
that fourth one, I'm like sniffing it and I'm going, yeah, I'll try it. I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Mary Jane's like, do it. You'll like it.
Okay. Mary Jane, chill out a little bit. Yeah, so that was really fun. I loved it. I don't think there's much more, like, the last few, I feel like we've had, like, really meaty, like, social, like, discussion.
Commentary, yeah.
This one, I don't really, it's not that deep.
This movie ain't deep, therefore, the deconstruction and commentary ain't deep. We just rate it in Scooby Snacks. That's how deep it's gonna get.
Do you want to pick yours?
I do. Okay, here we go. This is a more recent movie, I suppose. Yeah. And I've maybe seen it about, I think, almost 12 times.
I have seen it once.
Oh.
And I didn't like it very much.
Okay. Let's deconstruct this.
No, so I'm
later.
I'm seeing it again because the situation I was in when I watched it, it was like not the right, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't
the
right
situation.
Timing.
Yeah. Or maybe the right people.
I know, well, that's what I'm saying. It might not have been the movie itself.
Right.
That it was just like the whole sitch. I was like, So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm down.
And,
because I loved it. And I was like, so excited. I was like, how have I never seen this?
Right? I think this is, you gotta lean in hard to what it's giving.
Suspend your disbelief.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. Okie dokie.
Next episode, we are going to have our first session of, we don't know what it's called yet, but, reading one of your stories at the top of the episode. So just a reminder about that. We are starting a new segment this season. We are asking all of you to reach deep into your memories and then reach out to us.
Yeah.
Write us up a little email, a little DM, like one page, couple paragraphs.
Whatever you want.
A movie from your life.
Yeah.
That's been a fave. Why?
Yeah.
When? How?
Go back to that blockbuster deep in your heart and pull out that movie that has a deep, meaningful story. Or not, it doesn't have to be deep meaningful. Just whatever the fuck you want.
Stupid. It doesn't have, and like we said this before, it doesn't have to look like any one thing.
No.
So however this comes to you that you would want to share it with us, do it. Do it. And we will share it with all of you. So starting next week, that's going to be happening. And aside from that, if you want to reach out to us about that or anything else, you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on TikTok. All at New Friend Cinema.
Yeah.
And you can email us at newfriendcinema@gmail.com.
Correct.
I always want to say CA.
Yeah, you were going for it.
I am just a little Canadian gal.
Just a little CA kind of gal.
Yeah.
It is odd. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely day. Curl up and watch a good movie, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Before we do, I have to add one more. Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna have to take these out. What? Are you okay?
No, it's okay because I put my pen like this to remind me to write one more.
You don't remember which one
and I don't remember what it was.
Well, just look at what you have.
No, it's not on my list. You said something in the podcast.
And it triggered you?
And it triggered me being like, oh, I have to put that in my hat.
Next time that happens, just stop everything.
Okay, you were in mid-sentence. I didn't want to. What was it?
I'll wait till the end of my sentence and then stop everything.